What is up, YouTube family? How are we doing? It is Hallie Bailey here, back at the YouTube game, consistently moving forward as your girl is 18 weeks out, and I'm so excited to bring you guys along with me. I've been fortunate enough over the last few months since I have kind of taken a break from YouTube to gain some followers, so I just wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit more about kind of my background, how I got into bodybuilding, what kind of forced me to take a pause on kind of my YouTube and my previous bodybuilding journey, and just overall my background for anybody who might be new here. If you do not already know this, I am Fit to Be Happy with 2 Y's on Instagram. If you found me or kind of came from that Instagram page to my YouTube channel, hey, what's up? I'm so excited to allow you guys to really get to know me a little bit more. I am a personal trainer, I'm an online coach and a nutrition coach as well, so I absolutely adore creating connection with people both interpersonally and through physical fitness and nutrition. You know, making healthy relationships with nutrition and fitness is just what I love to do. So I decided to deep dive into bodybuilding, I would say about 6 months or so ago. It's always been something on the back of my mind, but I was always training for life. I was never truly training for any sort of competition, right? So last June, I actually competed in my first powerlifting competition and did pretty well. I competed at a Wabdal competition in June up in the Wisconsin Dells. If you don't already know this, I am based out of Madison, Wisconsin. And so I went up to the Dells for that competition, and I actually took a state and national record in the push-pull meet there. I don't want to go into numbers or whatever. I honestly can't even remember what I pulled or pushed that day, but it was a really fun time. But because I'm a previous college athlete, I played volleyball in college, my body just didn't really respond very well to it. That kind of training, just heavy all the time. My body kind of was drove into the ground, so I decided to take a break from that, but otherwise have pretty much done bodybuilding training or power building training for the last 4 years since I have been out of college. Actually, is it 5 years now? Yeah, I'm turning 26 this year. So yes, 26 years old, I am married, got my silicone band on. My husband Troy is also a personal trainer and online coach, and I'm in our home currently that we bought in April of last year. We got very fortunate that a friend of ours actually inherited this home. It was a full-on fixer-upper. I do have footage from there, so maybe down the road I can show you guys a little bit of film back from before renovations if I get pretty consistent on the YouTube channel, just to give you guys an insight on what that whole process was, because the last month of Troy and I's life was pretty interesting. We also have 2 dogs. We have Tatum, who is our black lab mix. She just woke up and just looked at me when I said her name. And so she is 4 years old. And then we just got a puppy named Maple. She's a Chihuahua mix. We just got her last Tuesday, and she is 10 weeks old. Are you 10 weeks old? We have a Christmas Eve baby, and we also have a Halloween baby, so I like to have our little holidays. I was born on Father's Day, for anyone who's curious, and my husband, I think was supposed to be a leap year baby. I might be wrong about that though. He's February 26th. So, sorry Troy, I have no idea if that's actually true. But bodybuilding, right? So I started this YouTube channel about 4 months ago, when I was actually with a different bodybuilding coach. My bodybuilding coach was also my employer at the time, and just kind of through some trial and error and just really kind of going back and forth on it, I actually decided to resign from the gym and resign from that coach. To be honest, I felt like my relationship with that current coach in comparison to what I wanted that to look like for my bodybuilding journey was just very different. And especially now having the relationship with my bodybuilding coach that I have, I am so happy with the decision that I made. Now, of course, like everybody has a different connection with their bodybuilding coach. Me personally, with it being my first competition season, I wanted somebody, because I'm a coach, right? So I train athletes, I work with women and men to pursue their fitness journey, and I wanted to kind of get the meat and potatoes of bodybuilding, and because I want to train and coach bodybuilders in the future as well. Like, this is something that I'm really passionate, and I want to learn as much as possible, and so I felt like this move was super important to me, and so I decided to change my coach and leave my previous gym I just recently left the gym entirely as an employee, but about 4 months ago I did make the decision that I wanted to pursue my own business full-time, and so kind of made that transition, and now working independently on my own, and then also have my new coach. So I started my YouTube channel that 4 months ago. Did about 3 weeks when I thought I was like 20 weeks out, something like that. Didn't really get to any sort of protocol adjustments, and then decided to make that change. Hired my coach, which is Megan Long. I will put her picture and her Instagram up, Meg's Fit, otherwise known, well, she's Megan Long, otherwise known as Meg's Fit, on Instagram, and she is just so cool. Like, I truly feel like she is somebody that I can call a friend, and she will be 100% raw and real with me, whether, like, she just doesn't sugarcoat anything, which I appreciate, because I want to learn the reasons why and what goes into being a good bodybuilder and a good bodybuilding coach. So she's awesome. About, I would say 4 months ago is when I actually got my blood work done for the first time. That's also something that I really loved with Meg, is that she had me go get a full blood panel done to see where my hormones were at, where my thyroid was at, just to make sure that I was the utmost healthiest going into my first prep. It should be any prep, really. You should get your blood work done. But that came back all healthy and ready to go. So then we decided to throw me right into a recomp, or a body recomposition. What that means is that we were putting on as much tissue as possible while putting on the least amount of body fat. So by being in that slight caloric deficit, or even like hitting maintenance, we were able to push weight really, really hard and put on as much tissue over the last 16 weeks, which I will go ahead and put my 16-week check-in photos, like my progress photos, up on the screen for you to see all of the tissue that I was able to put on. Now, to the naked eye, I don't know, of course I'm a little bit harder, everybody's a little bit harder on themselves when they look at pictures, but it may not seem like a lot of difference in the photos, but truly when it comes to the bodybuilding perspective of things, I completely changed my whole physique over the course of the last 16 weeks, and with posing and just different training splits, I was just so excited to create the physique that I'm currently in. So your girl is currently 18 weeks out from her first bodybuilding competition. So I will be competing July 9th in Austin, Texas at the Republic of Texas bodybuilding competition, the NPC competition. And so NPC being the National Physique Committee, that is the amateur league to the IFBB. IFBB being the International Fitness and Bodybuilding Committee. I can't remember what the acronym 100% stands for. I'm so sorry. But essentially you have to win and qualify nationally and win a national show to be a pro and be in the IFBB. So being a novice competitor like myself, being my first time, I will be competing as a novice and be competing in the open at my first bodybuilding show. I'm competing in wellness. So wellness is the division where it's the only asymmetrical division in all of bodybuilding. Like I said, I have a previous career in volleyball, which has led me, as well as my genetics, makes me a little bit more bottom heavy. I hold on to muscle really, really well. And so I just decided, and my coach and I decided, that wellness would be a good division for me to kind of start off in. Not even start off in, I think I will consistently be in wellness and can continue to grow into the division as time goes on. You can always put on more muscle and kind of morph your body over time into the division. And I felt like I was, too small to be in bikini. I had too much residual muscle, or muscle on my physique to be a bikini competitor. And also I am a little bit, I'm bigger on the upper body, but not as big as most figure competitors are. And so I would have to gain a lot of size to compete in figure, but I was most adhered to wellness, and is also the youngest division, so it's very, very popular. But I truly love it. I think it is an absolutely beautiful division of bodybuilding, and I'm so excited to compete in that show and in that division. I'm honored. But yeah, so wellness, 18 weeks out, I kind of wanted to go over what my protocol looks like and what has kind of happened between weeks 20 and 18, because honestly, since we've hit week 20, we've really been adjusting protocol, which is what kind of kicked me in the butt to start this YouTube channel. So for being 18 weeks out, I do have a new training split in comparison to what I had going into, or like being in my body recomp. I was on the same program for 16 weeks, and that was just honestly to put on density everywhere. And so now being in prep, essentially since wellness is a asymmetrical and asymmetrical division, what we want to do, or what we want to emphasize now, is slimming down the arms and growing the legs consistently throughout prep. So it sounds super weird to like intentionally want to shrink an area, but essentially if you aren't a coach, you may not understand this phenomenon, but when you're trying to put on tissue, you want to put tissue on everywhere, because even though like some people, when they start their fitness journey, they're like, I feel like I have gained a bunch of size in my arms, or, you know, I feel like all I do is work arms, but then my legs are getting bigger, or like vice versa. So to put on muscle, period, you have to put stress on the muscle. And so you just kind of want to work everything. I don't know if that makes sense. But now that we are getting more specific, being in more of a caloric deficit, we are going more emphasis towards the division itself. So I have a 3-day training split right now. Essentially so I can optimize my recovery and make sure that I'm hitting legs really, really hard. So my first day of my workout split is my leg day. I call it my death by leg day because it is like a super long, like 2.5 hour long leg day, which I love it, right? It gets me really excited and kind of really gets the legs feeling nice and juicy. I then take 2 full rest days off, and then that first day back, right now I'm in my second rest day of the week. So tomorrow I'll probably take you guys along for my quads and glute day. So I hit legs again. So legs, 2 days off, legs, and then I have just a plain upper body day, where before I was actually doing a push-pull set, legs push-pull, legs push-pull, and I just repeated that with rest periods in between. So it's kind of weird to just have a single upper body day, but honestly I'm really excited about it because upper body workouts just aren't as exciting to me right now, because of course with wellness you want to have big legs. So I feel like whenever you want to grow something, you always enjoy that, like training that muscle group a little bit more. So I'm training 3 days a week right now. It's a lot of rest, but I definitely see the light at the end of the tunnel and have felt a lot more recovered and putting on more tissue even in the last couple of weeks, which is super cool. Bodybuilding is such a cool sport. Okay, I got cut off there. I was talking about my training split, and then all of a sudden my card was full, like the memory is full, because I have not deleted anything off of my camera since the last time I filmed. So I'm deleted and all set to go, but whatever. Yes, so going from the training split, like I said, gonna bring you guys along for my quads and glutes tomorrow, but I was gonna talk a little bit more about food. So currently I am doing carb cycling, and I've been doing carb cycling I think this entire time, the last 16 weeks. So what that means is that I'm actually taking in more carbohydrates on my training days, less carbohydrate on my rest days, essentially to optimize my carbohydrate intake, to make sure that I have a lot of energy and easily accessible energy when I go into my training days, which I really, really like. It has allowed me on my training days in my recomp to get all the way up to about 3,000 calories, which I love eating food. If you know me, and you'll see throughout this video that I absolutely love food. I train a lot so I can eat a lot. So this will be a fun and interesting journey as I lose the calories over time. But right now, as we are making the shifts in my protocol, what that looks like is that I am taking in 2,800 calories on my training days, and I'm taking in about 2,300 calories on my off days. So taking a look at my caloric intake across the board when it comes to a weekly basis, that would make my average caloric intake about 2,600 calories. So that is technically, you know, being in a deficit for me, and we're slowly making and inching our way down as we get closer and closer to stage, which again is 18 weeks out. But yes, so that is how much I am eating right now. I will not break down my macronutrients for you guys because, again, remember, I am a competitive athlete. I by no means am saying that bodybuilding is a healthy sport. That is commonly a misconception about the sport, is that this is healthy because it is about working out and losing weight and doing all that stuff. I'm going to get extremely lean to the point where it is very hard on my body. And I know that sometimes bodybuilding bodybuilding can be glamorized and being super duper lean can be glamorized, but by no means does that mean it is a healthy space. So this is kind of a forewarning that within this journey, if you are previous ED, previous eating disorder, or eating disorder tendencies, please do not take anything that I say out of context of this being healthy. I anticipate that I'm going to get a lot skinnier than I should be. Not even skinny, but just lean. I may experience some hormonal imbalances. That is something that you have to be kind of willing to sacrifice going into the sport, because you do get to a point where your body is super duper lean to be on stage. And I will talk about how my body is responding to that as I go through prep. This is going to be a very intimate journey, so buckle up. That's why I didn't even worry about putting on makeup and I have my hair up, because you guys are going to see me in some pretty ugly states as we go over the next 18 weeks. So keeping it raw, keeping it real. But yes, so kind of moving forward from that, again, prefacing that, again, this is not a healthy sport. Going into cardio. So I do fasted cardio 4 times a week right now for 25 minutes. We are doing 25 minutes on the elliptical. And again, that is fasted. So I am a personal trainer, as I said previously. So I usually have 1 to 3 sessions in the morning. I have a black coffee during those sessions. And then right afterwards, I will take my supplements. Currently taking yohimbine and L-carnitine. Those are fat burners, and essentially they just give me a lot of excess energy that I can utilize within my training to help me, you know, hopefully shed down. Anything right now we're doing is just to help me lose weight a little bit more efficiently. And not, by no means is that me plugging that you should take fat burners. Again, bodybuilding is, you should not do a lot of the things that I am doing, but I want to show you guys along. But cardio, yes, 4 times per week. Do I love it? No. But do I have to do it? Yes. Doing the elliptical, it's okay. But other than that, that's really it. Right now, I am posing with a posing coach every week, if not every other week. I am posing with Alexis Adams. She is IFBB Pro. Is she an IFBB Pro? Doesn't matter. Very good posing coach. Her and my coach are very in close proximity. They are friends and they communicate all the time. So they're kind of my team that I'm working with to help me get prepared for stage. I also have a few sessions with Alyssa Rose, who is the first IFBB Pro in the wellness division. So I have sessions with her, I would say once a month, maybe once every 3 weeks, leading up to the stage, because I refuse to let posing be the reason why I don't win my show. Kind of where my headspace is at, and that's a good kind of transition. And then I will finish out this video and show you guys my posing practice, because I have one today. I won't do a physique update today because I'm starting this on Wednesday and my check-ins are on Tuesdays, but I will show you a little bit of a little snippet of my posing today. I have that in about 30 minutes. And yeah, I think that might work out tomorrow. But my mental headspace right now is, of course, as you start off your bodybuilding journey and you start prep, I feel like they always tell you that you're never going to feel lean enough and you're never going to feel big enough. And that's the mindset that I've currently found myself in, is that I feel like a big person. I feel like I have a lot of muscle mass on my body, but then, you know, Instagram and social media can tell you otherwise and make you feel very, very different. I'm 5'5". That is actually pretty tall for my division. A lot of the IFBB pros that I look at a lot are like 5'2", 5'3", so they're a little bit shorter than me. Of course, there is exceptions to that, but these women look really, really dense, and I'm looking at pros, of course, but when it all comes down to it, comparison is such an evil thing. And so know that if you hire a coach and they 100% believe that you are ready to go into bodybuilding prep, that they see the vision even when you don't see it. And so that's why I think having a coach is so, so important. I could have done the research and I could have, you know, put myself through a bodybuilding prep and just investigated and researched myself, but I wanted to wholeheartedly give my physique and my opportunity the best shot that I could. So I did hire a coach to help me with that mindset. I've never been super hard on criticism. Obviously in high school, like self-criticism and body image, I feel like every woman kind of deals with that. But it's weird to be on the other side when you want to be bigger, right? When you want to have a lot more muscle mass. So that's just where my heart is at. I do feel like a pretty decent sized person. I have a lot of muscle mass on my body. So we will see how that goes as I lean out. But overall, feeling really good. Miss Maple is making us a little bit more restless than we would like to be, but definitely still getting rest when I can. And yeah, I will take you guys along with me, and I hope you enjoy the ride. If you have any questions, please comment below. Again, I am Fit to Be Happy with 2 Ys on Instagram, and I'm always posting up on my Instagram stories, but this is the beginning of a long journey, so let's go ahead and get after it. Bye.